In this episode of Jeep News, we'll be taking a look at the newest release of the 392 Rubicon. Now, before I jump into it, make sure that you like and subscribe for other Jeep news like this, as well as some other cool content. Now, as we've seen before, Jeep has released their concept of the 392 Wrangler back in July, and to be completely honest, that's all we have been waiting for and asking for quite some time. Now, we've all seen people put V8s into their Wranglers for years, whether that's a classic LS swap or the more common Hemi swap, but there's definitely something to say about Jeep offering one right out of the factory that will make this one of the most badass Wranglers to come off of that assembly line. Now, Jeep has officially confirmed in their press conference that they will be offering a production model of the 392 Rubicon that will be available in the first quarter of 2021, which is actually extremely impressive and boasts the fact that the Jeep brand has been very hard at work behind the scenes. And I would like to say that there was no pricing analysis or pricing release behind the 392, and that is also coming in 2021, so we still have to play a guessing game when it comes to that. But before Jim Morrison went into the details of the 392, he did also mention some of the other cool things that Jeep has been up to in the meantime. Now, this included bringing back the Wagoneer into production, bringing the 4xe electrified Wrangler into production that totes a whopping 50 miles per gallon, and introducing a new line of 80th anniversary vehicles that will cover the entire Jeep brand with all new designs of full granite crystal trim, larger wheel packages, and some other small features. Now, those are some pretty awesome things for Jeep fans to be excited about, but when the 392 hit the floor, it was a completely different story. Now, the Jeep itself looked like the aftermarket had already got a hold of it, and it's honestly wild to see Jeep produce an even more capable and faster Wrangler than ever. Now, to cover some of the basic specs of the 392, it will come with a 6.4-liter Hemi motor, putting out an impressive 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque, all backed by their 8-speed automatic transmission, which will be a huge step up from what we've seen with our tried and true 3.6-liter V6. Now, this Rubicon, with the slogan "Get Dirty Faster," has a 0 to 60 of 4.5 seconds, allowing a 13-second quarter-mile speed. Now, that is not something that I thought I would hear myself say about a Wrangler, but with a whole new way of thinking, a whole new way of engineering, and a complete redesign, I'm very happy that Jeep did what they did. Now, what is really impressive, however, is the access of torque that you're able to get right off the bat. Now, you'll be able to access 75% of the overall torque just above idle speed, which will not only be awesome for just downright throttle response and getting off the line, but it's actually going to be insanely useful in rock crawling situations where you need that extra torque or that instant torque to get you through some of those situations. Now, to support this insane platform, the 392 will incorporate frame reinforcements, increased cooling and heat extraction, and wide-track Dana 44 axles. Now, diving deeper into the features, starting at the front, the hood is one of the notable features, and that's going to feature a 3-tier, very large hood scoop, which is going to be incredibly functional for cooling and airflow, and will also have a secondary air path integrated into the hood structure itself to make sure that, and if you get any snow, mud, or any debris into the hood scoop, that the engine is still going to be able to offer complete performance. Now, speaking of being off-road and elements possibly hindering performance, water fording is nothing when it comes to this Rubicon. Now, this will be able to ford up to 32.5 inches of water very easily thanks to Jeep's new Hydro Guide system that will allow any excess water in the engine bay to be guided or expelled away from the engine bay components that before could have been detrimental to the engine if they got wet. Now, getting away from the very impressive 6.4-liter and moving into the drivetrain, like I mentioned, this will come with an 8-speed transmission. It's also going to have a torque converter lockup control. That is going to just drive efficiency when it comes to your transmission and keep it in tip-top shape. Now, this will also come with the iconic Dana 44s to support the speed and capability with a final drive ratio at 3.73. Now, at the end of each Dana, you'll see a 17-inch beadlock wheel wrapped in a 33-inch KO2. Now, I personally like the attention to detail that Jeep made when it comes to the wheel and tire setup that they chose. chose. They created a very happy medium for street and trail driving with a more conservative 33 and 17-inch wheel, but they also kept in mind the off-road culture with a stylish yet very incredibly functional beadlock wheel, which will not only support the speed of this thing, but also its maneuverability while it's on the trail. Now, speaking of the trail, the 392 comes with 2 more inches of lift than the original Wrangler and 1 more than the original Rubicon, boasting better ground clearance, approach, departure, and breakover angles, which is absolutely necessary when taking this thing off-road. Now, moving around the back of the Jeep, the 392 will come with a dual mode exhaust for that unmistakable V8 sound and electronic baffles to control it. Now, not all of these accommodations and features lie underneath the hood or on the exterior, but Jeep also had a few tricks up its sleeve for the interior as well, offering all new technology and creature comforts to take this from your ordinary Wrangler or your ordinary Rubicon to the ultimate Rubicon. Now, this will feature a competition-style leather steering wheel, bronze details on the steering wheel, the seats, and on the exterior as well. High bolster bucket-style seats for comfort with the 392 emblem embroidered into the seat, and steering wheel mounted paddle shifters for maximum control, whether you're shifting off-road or on the street. Now, with all that being said, yes, this is a factory-built Jeep, but there's also room for growth when it comes to our Wranglers, and us as Jeep owners really can't help but to customize them to our style and our application. Now, thanks to Jeep, they will also be offering upgraded parts, including axles with a gear ratio of up to 5.38, wheels, lift kits, and more to improve the already crazy performance that this thing has. Now, what I can say is that I'm insanely impressed with what Jeep has taken from the culture and its people and turned into something that we have all wanted to see for a very long time. However, that is going to wrap it up for this episode of Jeep News. Make sure to comment down below and tell me what you think about the 392 and when you're going to get your hands on one. And always keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.